Only 13 countries in the world meet the cleanest air standards, not cities, not regions, but entire countries. So, the obvious question is, what do these places actually look like? But before we go into that, it helps us to understand how this is even measured. This comes from global air quality assessments aligned with the guidelines from the World Health Organization. Now, they use something called as PM2.5, tiny particles in the air, so small that they can even enter your lungs and bloodstream. To give you a sense of scale, these particles are 30 times thinner than a human hair. They are invisible to the eye, but their impact is physical. Once they cross the blood brain barrier, they are linked to systemic inflammation and long term respiratory issues. And the standard is quite strict. For air to be considered safe, annual PM 2.5 levels should stay below 5 micrograms per cubic meter. That's the line. And when countries are measured against it, only a small group, around 13, fall within that range. In fact, over 90% of the world's population lives in areas where air quality exceeds these safe limits. We aren't just looking at a few outliers, we are looking at a global challenge that spans almost every continent. So, now coming back to the question, what do these places actually look like? Let's start with Northern Europe. Countries like Estonia, Finland, Sweden, Norway. These are not large populations. Estonia has about 1.3 million people, Finland around 5.5 million, Sweden about 10 million, Norway roughly 5.5 million. Compare that with the world's most populous nations, where billions of people live and work. In the northern European countries, there is a lot of forest cover, population density is low, and environmental rules are taken seriously. So, clean air here isn't by chance, it's managed. From there, move a little further out to places like Iceland and Greenland. Iceland has a population of about just 400,000 people. Greenland is even less, 60,000 people, spread across a massive landmass. Very little industry, very little congestion. In many ways, nature is doing most of the work. Then you have island systems Mauritius, New Zealand, Puerto Rico. Population in the range of 1 to 5 million. Surrounded by open water with constant wind movement, the air doesn't stay still. It keeps moving, clearing, refreshing. Now shift to countries like Australia. A large economy, yes, but also very spread out. Australia has about 26 million people across a landmass nearly the size of India. So population density stays low. Pollution doesn't build up easily. Outside major cities, the air resets fairly quickly. Now step back and look at all of them together. Different geographies, different economies, but a clear pattern. They are less dense, less industrial, more spread out, and more connected to natural systems, which simply put makes them easier to keep clean. And that brings us to the other side of the story because this is not just about these 13, it's about where most of us live. In large, rapidly developing nations like India, China, or the United States, large populations, high energy use, expanding transport and industry. In these regions, the numbers tell a more complex story. While the global safe limit is 5 micrograms, many major urban centers across the world regularly see levels that are several times that baseline. But it's important to note the efforts being made. Initiatives like India's National Clean Air Program are working to expand monitoring and reduce dust. Poor air quality costs the global economy an estimated 8 trillion annually in health costs and lost productivity. When we say clean air is expensive to maintain, we often forget how much more expensive it is to ignore. So, in the end, this story is not really about the 13, it's about everyone else. Because clean air is not evenly distributed. For most of the world, it is no longer the baseline. I'm Ravi Shankar for TVJ Quick Take, context behind the news.